I'm going to go into a little bit of detail how I structure exit surveys. This one, I took the branding off, but this is actually one from Walmart. I think it still runs exactly as I'm going to show you. If you really want to know, go get a job at Walmart and then voluntarily quit, and you'll get one of these surveys, and you can check it for yourself. But the in that survey, what we ask is, why did you make the decision to leave? And when I first started doing these, I would force them to pick one. And it makes it cleaner and easier to analyze the data. But there are scenarios where people could pick, two or even all three of these things. They may have multiple reasons that they left. When we did this at Walmart and did the select all that apply, we found that you still have something around 80% of people that will only pick one. But if they pick two, then they will get the micro questions for that category. So what we ended up with there was, as the macro reasons are, were you dissatisfied with something about the job or the company? The second is, maybe I wasn't dissatisfied, but something just came along that was too good to pass up. So kind of being pulled away. And then the third is, I left for a reason not related to the job or the company. At Lilly, we split this into two categories, and I'll show you some data on that in a moment. But I don't think that you have to do that. I think that this is a good way to do it. It makes it a little cleaner for the respondent. And the idea here is, this is where we get at whether this was actionable. When thinking back to the slide earlier on the ways we categorize turnover, if they left for a reason that's not related to the job or the company, there's very little that you could do to prevent that. So these are the two categories where we really want to dig into the micro and get in an idea of why they really left. So what happens when you pick the first choice? So if you were dissatisfied, then it would branch and give you this list of micro reasons. So this was all programmed in Qualtrics. Qualtrics makes this very easy to set up a survey in this way. So if you ask this, then you get this question. And I've done this multiple ways, but the way that we did it there was that you could pick up to 3 reasons for that. I've also used ranking and said, like, what's your main reason, your second, your third. Either will work. So you could see all of the reasons that people might leave the company. Your list of reasons for your company may be a little bit different, but I'm sure that there's probably at least 70% overlap between this list and what you would end up using. If they pick the second bucket, which is, I was presented with something I couldn't pass up, then these were the primary reasons that would kind of fall into the micros there. So more opportunities to be promoted, better work location, better compensation, and so on. And then if you picked the third bucket of reasons not related to your company, then you get into some of the things like retired, health reasons, wanted to stay with my kids, didn't go back to school, those kinds of things. And again, those are not particularly actionable, but it is interesting still to have some idea. Because I mean, if you think about it, some of these, with a lot of time and effort, you might be able to correct. If they decided they wanted to stay home with their kids, if you're already contemplating having on-site daycare in a company, then looking at these exit surveys and the data might give you an idea of whether there's any chance that might improve retention of people at least leaving for that particular reason. This is an example of the engagement survey questions that are rewritten in past tense. And it's nice to do these because then you can compare the people who left and how they answered these to the people who are still in the company, how they answer it, and people who are still in the company. And if you have an intent to leave question, you can compare the ones who say they're going to leave versus the ones who actually left. And that can give you some ideas for how you might model predicting turnover and identifying at-risk individuals. And then we asked, overall, what was your employment experience like? And then we had a couple of open-ended questions that you can see here. So this whole survey, it's well under 5 minutes for someone to answer. We delivered it via email to the employee's personal email, and the response rate was better than a third at Walmart. And this was some very shaky personal email addresses. And then if you think about the population, a lot of these folks are young and don't look at their email all that often. So you could also consider delivering this via cell phone. And as most of you know, if you use Qualtrics, that delivering these things via mobile works just fine. So delivering it in that way might get you a better response rate for these groups. The one thing to keep in mind here while I'm on that topic is that if you're going to do exit surveys, you have to have a way to contact the person after they leave. So make sure you have either a personal email address. That may be something you collect as part of the exiting process, or a cell phone where you have a way to reach them. Otherwise, then you're doomed. You're gonna have to find a way to do that.